This is part 5 of Federalist 62, and I'm going to start with paragraph, I forgot, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Paragraph 13 says, fourth, the mutability in the public councils arising from a rapid succession of new members, however qualified they may be, points out in the strongest manner the necessity of some stable institution in the government. Every new election in the states is found to change one half of the representatives. From this change of men must proceed a change of opinions, and from a change of opinions, a change of measures. But a continual change, even of good measures, is inconsistent with every rule of prudence and every prospect of success. The remark is verified in private life and becomes more just as well as important in national transactions. We've talked about this a few times. We've said that in the States, because of the number of elections were quite a bit, and every time half of the representatives would be out of office, you'll have half of the state legislatures being filled with new people, and laws would constantly change, would be mutable, and that's what Madison hated. He said, constantly change the law, there's no stability. People cannot, with total confidence, make investment, plan things. Because who knows, if you constantly change the law, they'll say, well, maybe tomorrow they'll pass a law that will be take half of my savings away. It will damage my business. So it's one of the reasons that he says we wanted stability in the government. Okay, I'll continue to read. To trace the mischievous effects of a mutable government would fill a volume. I will hint a few only, each of which will be perceived to be a source of innumerable others. In the first place, it forfeits the respect and confidence of other nations, and all the advantages connected with national character. An individual who's observed to be inconstant to his plans, or perhaps to carry on his affairs without any plan at all, is marked at once by all prudent people as a speedy victim to his own unsteadiness and folly. His more friendly neighbors may pity him, but all will decline to connect their fortunes with his, and not a few will seize the opportunity of making their fortunes out of his. One nation is to another what one individual is to another, with this melancholy distinction, perhaps, that the former, with fewer of the benevolent emotions than the latter, are under fewer restraints, also from taking undue advantage from the distinction, from the indiscretion of each other. Every nation, consequently, whose affairs betray a want of wisdom and stability, may calculate on every loss which can be sustained from the more systematic policy of their wiser neighbors. But the best instruction on this subject is unhappily conveyed to America by the example of her own situation. She finds that she's held in no respect by her own situation. She finds that she's held in no respect by her friends, that she is the derision of her enemies, and that she is a prey to every nation which has an interest in speculating on her fluctuating counsels and embarrassed affairs. Just like people will take advantage of human beings that are inconstant, unsteady, fickle. You just don't know what they're going to do the next minute. He says nations can be like that too, when they constantly change their laws, when they constantly change their lawmakers. And except that sometimes with people you might have pity, and not everybody will take advantage of somebody that's weak this way. But when you come to talk about countries, the minute these empires realize that you're weak, you don't have good government, they'll be there to take advantage of you, take your resources, not respect you, not allow you to do fair, not to allow you to do commerce with them on a fair and just basis. So this is a weakness that we cannot allow to happen to the United States. The internal effects of a mutable policy are still more calamitous. It poisons the blessings of liberty itself. It will be of little avail to the people that the laws are made by men of their own choice, if the laws be so voluminous that they cannot be read, or so incoherent that they cannot be understood. If they be repealed or revised before they are promulgated, or undergo such incessant changes that no man who knows what the law is today can guess what it'll be tomorrow. Law is defined to be a rule of action. Law is defined to be a rule of action. But how can that be a rule which is little known and less fixed? Again, this mutability of laws, this changing all over and over, not only damages our foreign policy and our placing in the world, but it damages the internal policy, internal planning, because people lose trust. People know that their property might be losing in value, or their investment might not be beneficial because the law changed and they lost half of their money. The next paragraph, another effect of public instability is the unreasonable advantage it gives to the sagacious, the enterprising, and the moneyed few over the industrious and uninformed mass of the people. Every new regulation concerning commerce or revenue, or in any manner affecting the value of the different species of property, presents a new harvest to those who watch the change and can trace its consequences. A harvest reared not by themselves, but by the toils and cares of the great body of their fellow citizens. This is a state of thing in which it may be said with some truth that the laws are made for the few, not for the many. So a big disadvantage that this mutability of law, this constant change does, is that there will be some people that are well-read, that can actually get familiar with the situation of the government and what the government does. And every time the law changes, they'll make a lot of money because they know the tricks, and this will be to the disadvantage of the average people. So their gain, a handful of people will gain, the majority of people will lose from it. And it'll be a sad situation, and it will be a government for a few, not for the many. In another point of view, great injury results from an unstable government. The want of confidence in the public councils damps every useful undertaking, the success and profit of which may depend on a continuance of existing arrangements. What prudent merchant will hazard his fortunes in any new branch of commerce when he knows not but that his plans may be rendered unlawful before they can be executed? What farmer or manufacturer will lay himself out for the encouragement given to any particular cultivation or establishment when he can have no assurance that his preparatory labors and advances will not render him a victim to an inconstant government? In a word, no great improvement or laudable enterprise can go forward which requires the auspices of a steady system of national policy. But the most deplorable effect of all is that diminution of attachment and reverence which steals into the hearts of the people towards a political system which betrays so many marks of infirmity and disappoints so many of their flattering hopes. No government, any more than an individual, will long be respected without being truly respectable, nor be truly respectable without possessing a certain portion of order and stability. So we will not be loved and revered by our own people when our laws constantly change. We will not be taken seriously by foreign governments. They'll see this as a weakness and they'll take advantage of us any chance they get. And this is going to be extremely sad if we allow this to happen. Now that we have a chance to establish a great republic, if we blow this chance just because we're not going about things the right way, the wise way, change our laws so often that nobody can count on what the law will be 3 months from now.